to the TED Ed Podcast, where we delve into the issues that shape our daily lives and drive our productivity. We confront topics that matter deeply to all of us, from healthcare and affirmative action to voting rights and monetary success and failure. We cover it all. And yes, we dive into the complex world of politics, exploring how our country has evolved from slavery to the 21st century. Our content is crafted with care and expertise, drawing from years of experience in these critical areas. We invite you to give the TED Ed podcast a listen. You won't be disappointed. Share your thoughts with friends and confidants, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our episodes. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners. Are you passionate about these topics? Do you have unique insights to share? You could be one of our guest speakers. Drop us a line, send an email, or leave a comment. All requests will be considered. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. This is the TED Ed Podcast. Thank you and enjoy the show.
We are getting ready for Christmas Day.
Yes.
Getting ready. And something happened. I was sent a note and everything on my phone. I was taking care of some other stuff. I have a CGM on my arm. And I had to replace it and put another one on because it only lasts 10 days. So I put another one on, and I got a text message from someone. And it was about a Congress lady in Texas. She was a Republican.
Yeah, I know about her.
You know about her? Okay, well, let's get the history here, Ted, because I didn't hear all. I just got the highlights.
Oh, well, I mean, I just know the highlights too, that she was, for 6 months, she was gone from Congress. She was
Right,
absent. And nobody even paid attention to the woman. And she was on committee meetings and ended up, because she has some form of dementia or memory loss, and she's in a $4,000 a month care facility.
Man, that's cheap. $4,000 a month.
I know it.
It's
I
about
know that's cheap.
7,000 or 8,000. So, but I guess they must have had her there. So I don't know, man. It's kind of strange that you can have a U.S. Congresswoman. I know she's Republican, but to have them missing for
She's from Texas.
6 months,
She's from Texas.
right?
Had a
Dallas Fort Worth.
congressperson. Here's the thing: she's a Republican.
Correct.
Had a Republican another congressperson who happened to be Latino, and he didn't even know. He didn't even know she was missing. What kind of? Oh my goodness!
That's what I'm saying.
She's picking up a check every month.
They have no idea what the hell they doing. You would think that if with all that mess going on and trying to get votes and stuff, that somebody would have recognized that they got a congressman that ain't been there in 5 months.
They're so full of it, bro. They should be putting that on front pages everywhere.
That is some crazy stuff. I would have had to get with my majority whip and find out. Say, hey man, aren't you supposed to be keeping up with all of our people and our votes and stuff?
Ain't that guy from New Orleans? The guy from New Orleans.
No, they got a majority whip. He's from he's from Texas, I think. I think that's the.
No, he's from New Orleans, bro. The majority whip. Yeah.
No, that's the speaker
of New Orleans.
No, that's the
speaker.
That's
the one that got shot.
Man, you done lost me here. I thought it was the guy from Texas who was majority whip. Okay. Anyway, I don't keep in track with them daggone Republicans, so I guess they
Well, I ain't prejudiced. I
they
keep
can't
up with
keep
all of them, as many as I can anyway.
they can't keep track of their own members, so I don't know what's going on. Man, I couldn't believe that. I said, "This has got to be some of the dumbest stuff in the world." the
That's
blind,
embarrassing, man.
the blind leading the blind. And and you mentioned about a picture that somebody had posted, oh Miss Crockett. So
Oh, you saw it.
I found it. I
Let's see
found
it
it.
posted up on the screen.
I found it. It was it was embarrassing to say the least. And I'm pretty sure it didn't make the criminal out of Mar-a-Lago very happy.
Well, he's supposed to be
And
speaking right as we speak right now.
well, I'm glad
He's
we
on TV
online.
now.
I'm glad we online, so I ain't got to listen to it. Now, I heard that he trying to run away from him, and he trying to bring old Jeffy boy in there and let him be his buddy.
Jeffy, who?
Jeffy boy,
JD?
Bezo.
Oh, Bezo.
He trying to bring Bezo in there as
He
his
just gave
number
him $1
one.
million, bro.
Huh?
He just gave him $1 million.
Oh yeah, well he trying to get old Bezo under his wing and everything, but I don't think Eli gonna let him because from the information I heard, he tried to have him a meeting with old Jeffy boy down there at Mar-a-Lago, and somebody broke in on the party.
What?
Eli busted in on him.
Oh, he overstepping his boundaries, bro.
Eli busted in on him.
Because
What you
Trump
talking
is
to him
always
for? You
scheming.
said they said we had a meeting going on. So we got a meeting going on. You should have invited me too. This is going to be a marriage made in hell. He tried to divorce her. He can't divorce her now. He tried to. Elon said, "You can't divorce me."
Elon don't sleep, man. He don't sleep.
Well,
So he probably calling his people to run his companies, all the time.
yeah.
And
Well,
I don't know what his motive is. You know what? Can we figure out what the hell is
he
his
got
motive?
to Ted, he got to get them government contracts, man. That's he got that government money out there that he trying to get. That Starlink is in trouble. He needs to have some somebody interfere with the FCC because they trying to mess with his licensing and everything because he hasn't turned in all of his paperwork for his Starlink. So he wants to be in total control of that and have that money flowing in. And so he got to keep his Starlink going. And old Jeffy boy is trying to compete with him now in the flying to the moon projects and stuff and everything going up there. So I got some Jeffrey boy got this company called Blue Host or Blue something, Blue Sky or something. And
Right.
and so him and the Jeffrey boy is competing and everything. And Elon got some contracts with the government and stuff now and everything to fly the astronauts and stuff back and forth to the International Space Station because he had to go up there and rescue two of their people. So now he wants total control over that. But old Jeffy boy got his own stuff going on. So this is going to be the clash of titans.
You think Jeffrey boy Trying to get in that $1 trillion class.
He tried to get into that money, man, that the government's spending to go back and forth for these flights to the International Space Station and a bunch of other stuff. And old Jeffrey Boy's company and everything, he trying to compete with him now. So there's a lot of money out there that's floating around that they trying to get. This is going to be a real mess. And then old Donald, he trying to float between the both of them. he got to keep Elon happy because he don't want Elon to be mad at him. Oh man, this is something else. This is something else, Ted. We got a mess going on out here, and it's just getting started.
Just getting started, bro.
Just getting
The
started.
chaos is just getting started.
Now, there is a story out there brewing. Been brewing for a long time. And this whole thing started back, and I'm going to throw this number out here, so I'm going to want you to be aware. You can open your eyes up. It started back in 1985.
Okay.
When ORR was the president. You have your federal government employees who are civil service people. And back when RR was the president, and we remember he had the government with $500 million in debt and all this other stuff, which back then I guess was a lot of money for them because we dealing in trillions of debt now. But that was a whole lot of money for them to be in debt back then. So he decided that he was going to dip into the Civil Service Retirement Fund and help to pay off the debt. And at that same time, he dipped into the Social Security Trust Fund and took out money.
2.9 trillion.
I don't know how much, but he got a bunch of money out of there and said and told them that he was going to pay the trust fund back, which never happened. So to keep the Social Security a little bit solvent and stuff, he decided that anybody who worked for the federal government and they were on the Civil Service Retirement Plan couldn't double dip. Now he did. He got a pension from being a governor. He got a pension from the Actors Guild because he was an actor. And he got money from the federal government as being the president. All that money was flowing in, but he told those poor little old folks running around there in the government jobs that they couldn't double dip. So anybody who retired from the federal government who was on the Civil Service Retirement Plan, the only thing they can get was the Civil Service retirement money. They could not draw Social Security, even though they paid into Social Security. Fast forward to a couple of years ago, someone in the Congress decided that this stuff was unfair. They've been getting sad stories from a lot of their retirees who were retired and they were in the civil service, but they could not draw Social Security. Yesterday, the final step happened. They had a cloture vote on the Senate floor. You know what the cloture vote is, right?
No.
That is when you have to have, when you're getting ready to put a bill on the floor, it has to go in the Senate. It has to go through a cloture vote, which entails that 60 vote that they have to have to get the bill to be put on the floor of the Senate so it can be voted on. Well, they got almost 70-something people, including Republicans, who signed it, said it was okay because they thought what was going on was unfair because they were getting some real sad stories from a lot of these civil service retirement people saying that their husbands and stuff who didn't work for the civil service, all they had was Social Security retirement, that even though their husband was dead and all that, and their partners and stuff were still alive or whatever, and they could not draw Social Security. So it passed cloture vote yesterday, and I guess last night or early today or whatever, went to the floor, and the Senate passed it. It is going to the desk of Biden. He's already said he's going to sign it. So you've got a couple million folk, maybe more than that out there, who are going to get a big surprise here next year. They can start drawing their Social Security that they paid into almost half their lives.
And it's going to be back pay.
Oh, no. They ain't getting no back pay. Ain't no back pay. Ain't no back
Well,
pay.
that's not fair.
Yeah.
They want
So
to be fair, give them the back pay.
right. Because they a couple of the Republicans, a couple of senators and stuff there bashed some of their fellow Republicans and stuff and everything and said, you ain't got no business doing that. They don't need that money. Well, the senators stood up and said, you don't tell us what the hell to do here, Rand Paul, because we got people out here and everything who are our constituents and stuff who are upset with us because they can't get their money that they paid into. It ain't like we giving them something. They paid into the system. It was taken out of their check just like everybody else's was. And so now they get a chance to get their money, even just because they're civil service retirees. So something is good happening in Congress, even though they got a lot of bad stuff. Something is good because I'm pretty sure that there may be some folks out there who listen to the show who husband, wife, friend, or whatever retired on the civil service because they were government employees. So now when it's going to happen, when they're going to be able to draw their Social Security, I don't know. But all I know is that they just got it passed. So that's my story. Something good, Ted, that we can say about our Congress. And I was surprised that the House passed it back in the summer, but it's been sitting there in the Senate for a long, long time, waiting to be voted upon and acted upon. And President Biden has already said that whenever it gets through, he's going to sign it.
Is that guilt getting them, bro?
Yep, that's good.
That's that guilt.
I guess you might be right. Yeah, might be that guilt because I know some people and stuff in my family and everything who work for the federal government and stuff and everything, and they paid into Social Security, so now they can be able. They retired, so now that they looking at a nice little old check flowing in from Social Security.
Yeah, I got a friend last night that called me. He worked for the government for 30 years, so he get more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you retired on this civil service, and you can't draw Social Security now, even your spouses and stuff now who are there with you, and you can't draw their husband's Social Security because they were a federal employee, now they can draw Social Security under their spouse's name, even because they are federal employees, because they did not allow anyone to draw under a federal employee's Social Security if they retired under the Civil Service Retirement Plan because of RR. Ronald Reagan.
Well, let me just say this. I'm throwing this right here is way off the track. You're a history buff. You was a history major in college, and these two people I really admire because I used to read about them all the time. I read their books, all of that. Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois. Now you say, what the heck? But the person that I really want to focus on today is W.E. Du Bois.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
This dude, it is amazing, man. Here's the thing. He was a professor at Atlanta University, civil rights activist, and a Pan-Africanist. He went to school at Fisk University, finished his BA, and he went to Harvard. I remember reading the story. He went to Harvard, but they said, that's not good enough. You can't get your master's here. You got to get a legitimate BA. So he went to school. I guess they gave him.
Wait a minute. He went to Fisk. That wasn't legitimate.
I'm just telling you what they said.
Okay,
He
go ahead.
had to go to Harvard, and then he had to go 2 more years to get a BA from Harvard.
Before he could get his master's.
Then he went to Berlin to get his master's and came back and got his PhD. Now finished his PhD. However, here's the rub. His hold on a minute, let me get my notes here. His doctoral dissertation titled The Suppression of the African Slave Trade in the United States of America, 1638 to 1871.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'd like to get a hold of that dissertation. Now that's starting in 1638.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out why did he just start at 1638? How couldn't he just start at the beginning?
You would have thought he would have started at 1619, but maybe he didn't have access to data like we do today.
Well, that's probably right.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, here's the thing. His main book, probably one of the most popular ones, you know it is.
Mm-hmm.
The Souls of Black Folks.
Mm-hmm.
He called it The Souls of Black Folk. And so I was, just reviewing it a little bit. But the thing, this is what I got from it. I mean, just that little bit, just reviewing it. He called a lot of black people peasants. He called
them what?
Peasants.
Okay.
Peasants, bro. Because they were uneducated. A lot of them, because you're coming out of slavery. He wrote this book in 1903 now.
Okay.
And a lot of people were, was uneducated. They didn't have anything. But here's the thing that he used to say. He called it a co-worker kingdom of culture because of the music, the church, and our lifestyle. Now the thing is that he in his book, The Souls of Black Folks, he said that we were double consciousness with progress, privileges. And he used a term that I've never heard of. And I don't even know if I can pronounce it, bro. But I'm going to try. epistemological, epistemological. And what it is that he claimed that we had a special skill, that we knew how to be in the white world and the black world. And we know how to have a double conscience to deal with both.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to adapt to, and I'm gonna say a lack of a better word, the slave master,
Mm-hmm.
and deal with our own.
Mm-hmm.
And then we was able to do our skills, and it's almost like a philosophy or personality that you treated your own a certain kind of way and talked a certain kind of way, and then and with the so-called white folk, you did a certain kind of way. You understand what I'm saying? Now, just
Mm-hmm.
think about that.
I don't have to think about it. We're doing it right now.
All right, then. That's all I'm saying.
We're doing that right now.
That's what I'm saying. So he traveled all over the country in different parts. He's originally up from upstate New York, but then he ended up in Atlanta. And traveled all the different parts, interviewing people and talking to people and going to different churches, making speeches and all that. He was now in his later life, he catered to communism because they were more protective of him, but he was really a black activist. That was
Uh-huh.
his whole thing. And he was a very militant person. And he didn't appreciate Booker T. Washington because the big thing was that Booker T. Washington was stressing subservient positions. His big fight was professional positions. He wanted us in the corporate world. He wanted us in the high paying jobs and that kind of thing. We wanted us in law and medical doctors and all that stuff. So that was his thing. That's when they came up with this 10%. And then they had that Divine Nine. He somehow he just figured, say, hey, there's only going to be a certain percentage of us is going to get our college degree, going to get higher learning and professional jobs and all of that. So that was his big push. He didn't want us to be, clerks, and he didn't want us to be, bellhops and maids and janitors and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But the point is that he mentioned the union, and the union was very prejudiced at getting black people in the union at that time, and
Mm-hmm.
still is. But the bottom line is, it was really worse. They were just excommunicating them all together.
Mm-hmm.
So he was against that because of that. Because even though there was a lot of good jobs back in the 20s and 30s, that was a big fight getting black folks getting them jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't treated equally. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up because I'm gonna ask this all the time. Who is our leaders? Where's our leaders?
Well, it's ironic that you asked that. I don't think anybody in our community really is is capable and stuff of being the leader at this point, or who haven't taken the reins to be the leader. And all the other ones and stuff, they've gotten too old to do anything. You seen a little old Jesse, he can't hardly stand up, and Farrakhan, he barely able to stand up. He got his folks, the Feud of Islam. They all around him all the time, trying to hold him up to keep him going. So I don't know anybody out there who could qualify and stuff for it, and nobody listening to Little Reb and everything because he's as far as the black community is concerned, he's irrelevant. Most of the black folks anyway. So I don't know anybody yet, and there are some, and I mean, know a lot of people might not want to hear it, but there are some females and stuff and everything who could be able to grab that mantle if they wanted to.
Well, the thing is that what you just said, because let's face it, bro, there are no males that's stepping up
Mm-mm.
that's in their 40s.
Mm. And
You know,
why I don't know because there are some capable ones out there, but I don't see them stepping up or opening their mouth or grabbing that microphone and standing on that bully pulpit and speaking.
see, the question that I have, the big push, because, I told you that W.E. Du Bois, he was a civil rights activist. And it's almost like civil rights is a dirty word now. So if you say you're a civil rights leader, you got a lot of black people. Well, we got all our rights and blah, 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 this and blah, blah, that. So I don't know. I mean, what kind of leader, what would be the title of the leader? Now, because we still got NAACP, we got all kind of organizations and people are leaders of those, but what kind of leader would that person be? I mean, Farrakhan is the leader of a religious organization. He's much more popular. I wouldn't say popular. He's much well known. Well, I don't know if the thing is that each one of them got their niche. Al Sharpton got his niche, and Farrakhan got his niche. But who can be a generous leader of the black folks? Or do we need a leader? Do we need a spokesperson for black folks? There are a lot of people saying a lot of good things for black folks and talking about the cause and all that, politically, business wise, all of that.
What about Reverend Barber?
Who? Reverend Barber. Well, his lane is poor people.
Yeah, that's where Martin Luther came from. Poor folks.
But he was more of a that's true. It might have been, but at that time, we were in a real segregated country, and so he
Yeah,
was fighting for that too.
it's really segregated now.
Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's segregated, but they tolerate some of y'all.
Oh man. Well, I don't know, Ted. That's a question I think that probably we need to traverse and stuff and probably figure out what the heck going on or define what a leader and stuff is, who is, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of folks out there who are leading these
Ooh,
different
man, it's a ton
organizations.
of young folks that's out there, man, that are doing
Yeah,
some stuff,
and
and they
they're
got a lot
leading.
of followers.
Yeah, they got a lot of people who are leading, who they're leading and everything. But as far as somebody who you can consider to be a national
Unite
leader,
to unite all of those different kinds of
Right.
clans, because that's what they are, clans or tribes or whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Because I mean, I've listened to at least a half a dozen people. Man, they might have 2 million followers. They might have 1 million followers, and they're talking a lot of black stuff. I mean, the lack of a better word, things about our community and what have you. So um, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to bring that up because to me, those were the two greatest leaders that were in conflict with each other because of the uplifting of black people. Although Frederick Douglass would be considered
Yeah, Frederick
one
Douglass
of
is
the
back there
greatest.
in those
Now,
days. Yeah.
during that time, Marcus Garvey
Mm-hmm.
was a big deal,
Back to Africa.
and he didn't like Marcus Garvey at all. So and we know his story.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm just saying, when you study these people and their works and the things they did, the things they didn't do, what they couldn't accomplish, what they tried to accomplish, the thing is that there has always been a push to uplift people, and then hoping that the masses will follow to, have our total freedom. They all have the same MO, but they got different tactics. So, and it's a shame that you know um, meritocracy. It's a shame that you can't do it on your own by yourself, and you can to a certain degree, but you still gonna have those roadblocks
Mm.
because you might be at the table, but you ain't behind the door. You ain't in the closed door. When after the
Mm-hmm.
meeting and you're at the table, they're gonna have another meeting behind the door.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you actually look at it, then Ted, we got the same situation going on now as they had back then. If you speaking of all those folks and stuff that we know about from back then and how they clash with each other and stuff, and you can see us now and stuff, we having probably the same thing going on. I don't know how big the clash and stuff is, but we got the same thing going on. We just can't find anybody. Everybody has a different theology or whatever, and they are doing their thing. And they got their own group,
And to me, Ed, and I'm sure you studied these things and read about them. When you have all of these ideologies, Marxism, capitalism, socialism,
mm-hmm.
and then within them they have conservative and liberal and progressive and far right and far left. You have these people that's all kinds of things. But one of the terms that really is a big term now, and I'm gonna see if I can pronounce it. Pluarchraphy. I think that's how you pronounce it. Pluarchraphy. I know it's not pronounced correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, let me see if I put a spelling on it somewhere so I can spell it. But what it is people who have money that tries to buy the politicians.
Oh man, you.
I'm way off on that word.
Well, if that's your definition of it, you got a lot of them out there now. you got
Well,
there's a whole
that's where we at right now.
there's a long list of them out there now.
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, we have that right now.
So
I
that
mean, a
they're gonna
long
get
list
power.
of them. A huge list of them buying people out. They're buying Supreme Court justices. They're buying House of Representatives, they're buying senators, they're buying governors, they're buying presidencies. and they and the sad part about it, Ted, is that they put themselves out there for sale. You can buy me. Give me enough money, you can buy me. And and the criminal, he has put himself out there, and he's been bought and paid for. I mean, bought and paid for.
Bought and paid.
Bought and paid for. And I gotta believe, man, that there are folks and stuff who are waiting, who are sitting and waiting for him to ascend to the throne, and he think that Elon and Bezos are his competition. He's gonna have a heck of a lot more, because I know that Vladimir is just waiting until he gets inaugurated, and he gonna show up at the door too. He gonna come a knocking. Hey pal, you owe me. But Ted, there's something that we probably have looked over in this debate that we're having, or even back when Donald was around, was still a president, and what happened over there in Ukraine, because he's been dealing with them people for ever since he was in his first term. If you remember, he tried to put Hunter Biden into that mess and everything, and stick him into it. He tried to get he took away that the ambassador and stuff from Ukraine and stuff, who was a woman. He There was a big mess and stuff when it came to her and what the heck went on. But there's something that we keep missing and stuff in all of these debates and stuff that we are talking about. And you will hear people say this all the time, and then you'd be wondering, well, how can that happen? How can that happen? Well, why would we do that? And the phrase is, follow the money.
Yeah.
And we're looking at Ukraine here, and we're thinking war and fighting, and the people trying to uh, keep their autocracy and not let Russia come in and take them over. And we're sitting here wondering and stuff, why in the heck is Putin want that country? Why in the heck did Trump go over there and stop fooling around with those people back in 2016, 2017, when he was the president? And I, like you said, we read a lot and we keep reading, rereading. And then something popped up on me yesterday after we had our last show. And I was sitting there reading about Ukraine and what they were trying to do. And people were talking about how they took some money and sent them an assassin over there to take care of their generals and stuff, to create all kind of disruption there. And I don't know if you remember, but they had a big problem and stuff because Russia at that time cut them off from selling their grain
Yep.
to other countries.
Yep.
And we always looked at that and said to ourselves, man, those people have, they're one of the bread baskets and stuff and everything for Europe and a couple other countries and stuff and everything, because they have a lot of grain that they export out of their country. But yesterday when I read my article, something popped up. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Follow the money, Edward. We don't know that Right now, Ukraine has close to $16 trillion worth of raw materials and minerals and stuff underneath their ground.
16 trillion.
16 trillion. They gave an estimate of $16 trillion worth of natural reserve stuff sitting up under the gas and all kinds of other stuff and minerals. And they're guessing that they got at least $16 trillion underneath their ground. You think maybe that's why Putin wants to get that country back? Follow the money.
Plus the land with the
That's the land and the grain that they're producing.
well, that's the whole thing. That's what they
Yeah.
do. They got good fertile land there.
Yes, with fertile land. They producing grain like
But here's
crazy.
what I heard. Now I don't know. I haven't verified this. Trump talking about he want to take over the canal. He putting it out there.
He just throwing crap on the wall, man, hoping something stick. You have to look at your enemy a lot of times and everything and wondering what the heck keeps them in power and what the heck they doing. And with Trump, he likes to throw crap on the wall and eventually something might stick. Because he can throw out some mess just like this tariff crap. He done scared them Chinese and stuff, but we're gonna raise the tariffs 100%, 600% tariff and stuff on y'all goods that come in this country. And he hasn't said a whole lot about that lately.
He loved tariffs. He said that's a great word.
He doesn't even know what that means, I don't believe. And people that told him he probably still don't understand what the heck it means. He got to be the dumbest president that we ever had in the history of this country. I'm serious. He got to be the dumbest person that we ever had. The only thing he knows how to do, he done followed in his daddy's footstep and know how to rip people off. He can sue them, make some money, and keep fighting them with his attorneys. And to think that they got people out there that think he's the greatest businessman in the world.
He
He the
talks a
greatest in the
good
world.
game, man.
He the greatest in the world. He done sold them out. He done sold secrets to our enemies.
He not
He done
already told him
sold.
that he can't do nothing with food
He
prices.
done sold out, and now his son-in-law and his daughter and stuff and everything who tried to denounce him before, they done pulled in another $1.5 billion from somebody out there in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
They done gave them some money to create some more money stuff out there. Follow the money. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff out there that most of our people in this country, white and black, have no idea what's going on. None whatsoever. They in the dark, Ted.
Yeah,
White
they
and
talk.
black. I'm not talking about just our people. There's the white folks out there in the dark too, man.
Yeah, it's a
They have
bunch. It's
no
a bunch.
idea.
And the thing is, when you're in the dark, you don't know what's going on, but you have some semblance to it if you've done any kind of research. You can read between the lines on certain things, but you don't know exactly, what's about to jump off. It's just like, the stock market. They lose 12, 1,500 points now. It ain't nothing, man. People just, all they're doing is taking profits.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The stock went up, in the last 6 months? I don't know how many percentage points, and boom, he said, "Hey, I can sell a few thousand of these and get some cash out." And they just
Mm-hmm.
get profit taking.
Mm-hmm.
So now the thing is, that's only one parameter of the economy. So the thing is that here's the thing. I think what they're trying to do is put as much money out there as they can. But the thing is that the big story is cyber money. That's the big story. They're trying to get the government involved in this, bro, and start opening their own cyber money. This is the thing. This is the big story to me. I think that what they're trying to do, they're not gonna ever get rid of cash, but I think that cyber money is the big story right now because don't nobody really understand it. But the thing is, with this cyber money or digital money, whatever you want to call it, Bitcoin, with these Bitcoins, there's nothing to back it up. And these people are stealing money like crazy. Them things go up. Let's say, some of those people got 100 coins, 200 coins, and that thing went up to $100,000, and they bought it at 40 cents or $40 or $50 or $200 or whatever a coin. Ooh, I'm gonna sell this. They're a multi-millionaire, just like that. Ain't nothing else backing them. But people looking at it now, we already talked about it, that, a lot of these big money managers are buying 5% of their portfolio Bitcoin. Yeah, if you got money to lose, you go and invest and say, hey, if I lose it, I lose it. So what? But if I win, you're in the money. Anyway.
Okay.
Just keep your eye on that. I'm telling you, man, because that's going to be the big story next year.
Okay. Oh, wow. Well, you done put us into a I don't know what you call it. I'm just sitting here just listening to you. and again, our folks have no idea what what you talking about and what to do. But it's coming. They have no idea what it is. And they don't understand it, have no idea. But it's coming. It's steady coming. And the folks in the know, they know it's coming. And our people are gonna be lost here because the only thing they know how to do is get them put $1 in their hand, and that's it. They have no idea what the heck you were talking about. How in the heck can you have some money that is sitting on a computer? That's the simplest that I can put it to them.
Sitting on the computer.
Sitting on the computer. And it's worth something. It's worth whatever somebody think that it has value. It's worth the value that somebody think is there. And as long as you can get somebody to think it has value, they're going to keep putting money into it. But most people do not understand that. And if you go out there on the street and in the ghetto and say, hey man, I got money on my computer, and they're gonna think that you got a card. You got a debit card or credit card.
Give me that money. You are worth all that money.
Yeah,
Ain't no way
like
the
you
world you
work for
gonna
the
get that
money,
money,
yeah.
bro.
And they can pull the cash down. Hey, they'll convert that into US dollar for you.
Yeah.
They can convert it for you in US dollar. You can put it in your bank account. And it's sitting there.
One of these days, I'm gonna do about the top 10 coins,
I
and
don't
I'm
think
gonna
that
go
you
back
can
to the
actually
history.
I don't think that you can actually do that and everything because that stuff is going back and forth so fast. You know, you don't know what's
No, what
going
I'm saying
on.
is, like do the top 10, go back when they originated, and find out what they started at, and see what it is now, whether it's 100,000 or 50,000 or 10,000. But the point is, let's say at one time those coins was $50 a piece.
Or less.
Yeah, and then maybe a couple of them I'll see who's running it.
That'll be difficult. Well, I won't get into that. I won't even be talking about that. There's some other stuff going on that, man, it is. There are so many ways out there, Ted, that people are making money and stuff and everything. And now because of what's going on in that market, uh, man, yeah, I better leave that for tomorrow, the next day. After you come back and bring your other stuff in there, then we'll talk about that other part. Because if they don't understand that, there's no way that people are going to understand about this particular way of making money, taking a picture and making money off of it.
Oh, that's a big hustle there, bro.
Hey man, they got a picture out there and they people make money off of it. There's some guy out there right now getting ready to put his whole collection out there on that market out there, and they thinking that bro man probably gonna be putting in pretty close to $100 million.
And they just gonna be buying parts of it.
Yes, sir. A picture. A picture that they own. A digital picture. They own it. And people pay money for it. It's worth money. Oh man, what a world we're getting into, Ted. What a world. What a world. And
Well,
the only thing I can tell my folks is you better catch on to that tail, because if you can't catch that tail right now, you're gonna be in trouble. That old dog gonna be gonna be gone.
let me tell you something. This phone can teach you everything you want to know. That's all I gotta say. Anything you want to know, this phone can tell you. So there's no excuse. I mean, if you're greedy and you're hungry, because there's money to be made with this phone.
Yeah,
Now here's the
absolutely.
here's the rub though, Ed, and maybe you can get some insight on this. I don't want to go too deep on it. There's a whole right now. I was just listening to one of the CBS talk shows this morning, and they had the guy that's over Homeland Security on there. He
Mm-hmm.
says one of our biggest threats is cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all these people know how to jack your phones up, and they know how to do this and do that. That's the thing. How do you protect yourself? See, when you're in there, you're using your phone because you got to give your account, your bank account, and all that stuff, information on certain things. But in my understanding, you should never give your Social Security and don't put that out there on your phone.
Well, Social Security has changed that now. Right now, Social Security does not even deal with Social Security numbers anymore. They're giving people who have Social Security numbers and stuff, they're giving them all completely new numbers. There's a new digital thing going on out there for your social security number. So if you haven't gotten yours and stuff and everything, I'm pretty sure if you contact Social Security, they will give you one. They're not dealing with it because most people's Social Security numbers have been stolen already.
Been jacked.
They've been already jacked. They've already got them already. So the Social Security Administration and stuff is changing into digital coding and stuff and everything for everybody's Social Security things. But it's also eventually backed by a Social Security number that's old, but there's other information that they're asking and stuff. So uh, a lot of these older people and stuff, Ted, they're going to have to do something about their information and stuff in their early years. And if they're into a dementia or they're in that loss of memory and stuff and everything, and they can't remember some things that happened, say 40, 50, 60 years ago about themselves and everything, then they need to find somebody to put that information and stuff down for them because that's how they're going to eventually start identifying you by events that happened in your life and stuff a long time ago. And if you can't remember those events that happened a long time ago, they're not going to be able to identify you. 'Cause they're going to ask you questions about something that maybe happened to you using your social security number. They might ask you, did you take out a loan and stuff for a particular car? What color was the car that you took out a loan for? And if you can't remember that stuff and everything, they're not gonna be able to identify you.
Yeah.
So you need to put this stuff down someplace where you can get to it. Anyway, final word, Ted. We at the end.
Well, I was going to give some of my, once a week, I like to do my little philosophy things, my little quotes. Ed, where's our newspaper, bro?
Ted, there's so much stuff floating around here that I can't keep up with them damn newspapers. And then a lot of them, I found out we have their name, but they don't have no internet presence where you can go in and find out about them. Over half of them do not have internet presence. You go there and into their list of it, and you cannot click onto it and stuff and find out where they at because most of those folks have went away or they have completely abandoned the internet. I was surprised. I thought I got the list, but you click onto them and they don't exist. Or you go to their site and the thing is so old, there's no information and stuff on them other than so and so and so and so bought them. But the last article that they have out there is probably 4 or 5 years old, or it's gone. And usually when that happens, you go out there, you pick this thing out because of how the internet is set up and how these domain registrars and stuff and everything are set up. They're trying to sell that domain. It's interesting and stuff. What's happening and stuff there. I guess these newspapers and stuff, especially the older newspapers and their little towns or whatever, they just can't keep up with what's going on. This modern era, and they don't have the budget and stuff to
Well,
keep
just
themselves
find
going.
one, man. Just find one. I
All it
found
is
three.
that they got all they have. They sell papers out manually. They still giving people subscriptions, and
So they're
you
not
manually get
online.
them.
A lot of them not
Right?
online.
They ain't online.
No.
They're not online, so
I
you can't
got
get
I
to them.
got 4 quotes here.
Go ahead.
I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing.
Go ahead.
That was Plato. People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Steve Jobs. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Bruce Lee.
Hmm.
Have urgency. Necessity is the mother of inventions.
Mm-hmm. I
Plato.
remember that one.
Plato. That's all I got to say, bro.
Well, Ted, the world is changing quick, 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 quick. It is changing so fast that sometimes I can't even keep up with what's going on.
What?
And I remember 7, 8, 9 years ago when people were building their access to the internet, when they were building their presence out there on the internet, and how they had to build websites for people to go out there and to see them and stuff on the internet. And I remember at that time that you go out there and there might be a website out there and you click onto it and it might take you, that little thing will be going around and it'll be like 30 seconds. So sometimes even a minute before the site will pop up, boom, and you'll be able to see it. And then you change your, you go to another page or whatever, and it might take 30 seconds for that page to load. And people just waited on that to happen because they knew that's what was going on. Today, if that site does not load in less than a second, you're in trouble. People aren't going to go to your site anymore. You're going to lose viewership. You're going to lose people to come on to your thing because most folks and stuff got their phones. And like you just put your little phone up there and everything. If that page doesn't load up on your phone in 1 second, you're going to go off and find another
Go
something
to
else to
another
do.
one.
You go find another place to
It's
go.
like you used to do your girlfriends.
Yeah. If it ain't there, if she ain't there like that, you go find another one.
Go get another one. Next.
Go get another one. And that's how this world has changed. And if you're not up upon the different technologies to get you to that point to where your stuff will load almost instantly, you're in trouble. Where you got a business, where you got a podcast, whether you got a whatever. Right now, when we finish up here, I have a hard drive that's sitting over here, and everything that we've just talked about, and these pictures that people are going to be seeing and everything, it's going to be out there on the internet within 20 minutes. I'm going to put it on my hard drive, sit it down there. I'm going to completely render this whole daggone thing, and it's going to be more than likely between 3 and 4 gigabyte large. 4 gigabytes of data, digital data, media, and that stuff I can upload it to YouTube in 3 minutes. 3 to 4 gigabytes is up there.
We rolling, bro.
I have to have equipment to do it. People, I spent a whole lot of money for this stuff that you're seeing right here to get this show and stuff out there. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it because there's a lot that goes into this and a lot more that can happen. So it's not as professional as you see on NBC or MSNBC or whatever, but it's our stuff.
And
Enjoy it.
expect to see us hear us on Spotify and Apple.
And Apple TV, Apple Podcast in 2025. Have a good day, people.